Now, tonight on our front, we put a spotlight on the clash between the opposition National Democratic Congress and the Electoral Commission over the ongoing voter registration exercise. We know that there has been a heated confrontation. Now, the National Democratic Congress, at a press conference earlier today, had raised serious questions about transparency in the ongoing voter registration exercise, specifically concerning the refusal of the Electoral Commission to provide serial numbers of biometric voter registration kits. Now, the NDC asserts that transparency demands that the recording of these serial numbers by their agents be done during the limited voter registration exercise. They argue that since serial numbers of biometric verification devices are recorded on election day, there should be no issue at all with recording the BVR kit serial numbers during registration. The EC, however, in a sharp response to the NDC's claims, emphasized the critical role these serial numbers play in the security and the integrity of the registration process. They believe that releasing such information poses significant risk, including compromise of kit security, targeted manipulation, phishing, fraud, and disruption of operational integrity. The AC is furthermore saying that existing measures of transparency and accountability are already imbued in the system. They give examples like gazetted centers, polling agent oversight, detailed reporting, provision of provisional and final registers to political parties, participation in district registration review committees, and the adjudication process. Tonight on our front, we delve in deeper into this matter and ultimately assess the ongoing limited voter registration exercise, which is now an offline registration exercise. Joining me soon via phone will be the Director of Electoral Services of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sibwo Kwako. From the NPP2, we shall have Evans Nimako, who is Director of Elections. But I need to start right in studio, and my guest is already seated. He is Dr. Tanko Richard Computer, a Deputy National Elections Director of the NDC. You're welcome, sir. I hope you are doing well today. Now, I'm starting from the point where many people now had a press conference today. In fact, yesterday there were indications by the likes of the national, your boss, Dr. Waneboama, indicating to everybody that this is an issue that ought to be dealt with. In fact, the question was asking is, what is the Electoral Commission afraid of? I want us to start with this. What are the NDC's primary concerns regarding the refusal of the AC to provide the BVR kit serial numbers? What are the main issues?
Very well. Raymond, you see, this Electoral Commission, their posturing appears not to be the type of Electoral Commission every Ghanaian would want to defer to. When I say defer to, that is, you can go to sleep and think that everything is going right. This is the first time we've seen items vanishing from the Electoral Commission. From 92, I've been in the process all along. From 92 up to now, we've never had a situation where you have vital equipment from the Electoral Commission vanishing into thin air, even in the midst of CCTV cameras, heavy security build-up over there. For the first time, you have an armored vehicle parked at the Electoral Commission. We've never had that. Now, you have all this, and somebody has managed to steal some BVD component, very vital components, like the laptops they are talking about. Let's take it by their words. They say laptops. The laptop is the mother component of the BVR because the other component can easily be acquired in the market. That is the scanner, the printer, and then the typewriting and all these things. But when you look at the laptop, they are specialized laptops. Now, it contains the software that is used to capture the data. Okay, some people have managed to pass through all these security build-up and made away 5 of it. Their CCTV cameras could not capture this.
Are those not people that will be prosecuted?
The question is still this. We sent 35 questions to Raymond.
Yeah.
These 35 questions, my boss asked them during the IPAC meeting, of which I was there. Mm-hmm. We followed it up with a letter. We wrote a demand letter to the Electoral Commission with these 35 questions so that they can answer officially And one of it about the CCTV camera, whether the CCTV cameras captured the stealing. Up to now, they have not even answered one question out of the
35.
They have not responded to them. Then, lo and behold, we start registration exercise. Then we ask that, now that 5 of the BVDs cannot be accounted for, they cannot be found, you have deployed some BVRs in the field. We want the serial numbers of those ones. So that if somebody is going to use the other BVRs to misbehave with it in the field, we will know which BVR is the person used, because all of them has their serial numbers. So if this BVR is capturing this number of people, we know which BVR is capturing them. And then we can vouch for the integrity of the data. And that one too is a problem. What is the problem about it? Don't forget, when they were responding to the stolen item, they said, granted that people have made away with the 5 laptops, they still need verification code or activation code in order to use them. That without the activation code, you cannot use those laptops. And verily, when they started on 7th, they needed activation code for the BVRs before they can use them. Even today, when they ask them to go offline, some areas could not go because they didn't get the verification code to activate them in order to go offline. If you are going offline, you still need a code. Okay. And that code is generated in Accra here. It's not even generated in the districts or in the regions. Somebody in Accra here will have to send those codes to them. So it delayed the registration process. Some started around midday because the codes they gave them were wrong codes. And so they had to give them different codes. Now, if the person who is giving the codes sits in the Electoral Commission, the same commission that presided over the stealing of these 5 gadgets.
I mean, not presided over, because presided over would have suggested that they supervised it. But, of course, the people are standing trial, so really it cannot be that they preside over that.
Raymond.
But that's not even in contention. Continue with
that is the issue I'm talking about. So I'm saying that if they are saying that you need a code, then the serial numbers doesn't matter. Do you agree with me?
I get you, yeah.
That is it. Because you are saying that they've made away with 5 of them. The 5 they've made away had serial numbers, all right. You are not bothered. What you are bothered is that they cannot have codes to activate them. Fine, that is your argument. Now we are also demanding the serial numbers. And you are saying that for us, you won't give us, but you are comfortable thieves having the serial numbers of your gadgets.
I mean, of course, it's not a legal possession of it. Let me ask you this question, because it's a question the Electoral Commission put on their Facebook page. It's a germane question they're asking about the process. And I understand that I've also been joined on the line by the National Elections Director of the NPP, Evans Dimako. I'll be coming to you, Evans, in a second. The question the EC asked is a banner. It says, if a complete BVR kit made up of a laptop, camera, scanner, and a printer could not be used for registration of voters because of lack of activation code, as reported by the media at some registration centers, how can anyone suggest that 5 missing laptops on their own can be used to register voters?
It makes our work easy in demand of these serial numbers. Because those things he has mentioned have serial numbers. And they think that it doesn't matter because they needed a code to activate them. The same thing, the one they are using in registering the registrant as of now, needed codes. We are not asking for the code. Our demand is not that give us the code for the BVRs, the one that you use to activate it. That's not our demand. Our demand is that we need the serial numbers of the machine, simple SITA.
Why do you need the serial numbers?
Why are they running away from Guinea?
Why do you need it? Maybe if there's a germane reason why you need it, then the rest of us can push the EC to give you. Why is it necessary you have it? Simple.
Every BVR has a serial number, just like the BVD.
Yes.
That one, they are comfortable giving it to us during election time. Election time, they give us a number, and they put it into the pink sheet. Now, this one also has...
Because there's a slot on the ballot accounting...
Good, and it's the same for it. That is why I'm saying that this one is the same mechanism. If you understand the working of the BVR, every machine will generate a number. The number is how many people they capture a day. That's why it has a start day process and an end of day process. So when they're going to start, they'll give you a start of day report.
That there's
nothing in it. Okay, and an end of day report, they give you and tell you how many people.
And the details that you cross-check.
So with that, I can tell this BVR recorded 200 people. This BVR for this center, it recorded 200 people. So I have the serial number of the BVR. These are the names that came out from that BVR. Another one to the same, they also have that one. So at the end of it, when we are putting the data together, I know which BVR recorded which names.
Oh, okay.
Simple and short. So that if the 5 laptops being used somewhere also has serial numbers, if it comes with different names, we'll be able to track it.
Now, they're saying that the serial numbers are integral to the security of the framework of the BVR kits. Disclosure of these numbers will potentially allow unauthorized access to the device, compromising integrity. So security is first raised. What's your response to the security issue?
Electoral Commission should be the last body to talk of security.
Really?
Oh, where they stole the item, have you been there before? I've been there several times. Go there and see the security men over there, the CCTV cameras over there. Armor vehicle parked there, soldiers heavily built, guarding there. 5 laptops vanished.
But
they couldn't.
But we're talking about registration center across the
country. I am saying that
it's not their secure place.
No, what I'm saying that those machines
are
security gadgets. Yet people manage to pick them away. The thieves are having the serial numbers as we speak now of those machines. They have them.
Again, but
and I'm saying that the one who generates the codes for them to use it sits in that office where they stole those 5 machines.
Hold on.
So giving him the codes is easier.
Now, the question I'm asking here is, do you think that there's security compromise when there's release of the serial numbers?
There's no security compromise here.
You don't think so?
What is the security compromise here? Are we asking for the code? We are not asking for the code of their machine. So if you give the machine to me as of now, I can't even use it because I don't have the code.
Okay, now give me...
That is I'm not asking for the code, I'm asking for the serial number, and that one's the hairs must break loose.
I want to ask the NPP whether they are joining you in the demand of this, or they think it's a frivolous request and will compromise security of BVRs. Now, National Elections Director of the NPP, Evans Marco, joins us. Evans, you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. We spent some time getting to hear the NDC's case. I wanted them to outline it carefully and clearly to the hearing of all, so that it will not be any doubt in the minds of people about what really they want. First, security is of utmost importance to the EC. They say they are going to release the codes. Where do you sit? Do you think it is the NDC that's right, or it is the Electoral Commission that's on the right track?
Ray, thank you for having me. And I think that we should get this issue once and for all. I don't think we should waste our energy to discuss this request of the NDC. Why? I want Dr. Sanko to know this is the first time in registration exercise under this Republican Constitution that the NDC or any party is requesting of the EC serial numbers of BVR kits. My brother, this is just a registration kit. At the end of each registration exercise, the registration kit must produce for stakeholders end-of-day report, which will indicate the names of those who registered at that particular polling station on that day. So for the 21 days that the EC has listed for the registration of voters, each day there must be a report from the machine those who registered at that polling station. Ray, we went into the 2020 election with voter register of 17,029,000. That was 2020. In 2023, the EC undertook limited registration exercise. A total of 910,000 people got registered. So as we speak, we almost have close to 80 million people on the register. The EC, the CI, is supposed to give this register to the political party in a form that they determine. But if you look at the CI 91, Regulation 16. It says use of the biometric information. That base, it is only court that can ask the EC to give it out. So I'm surprised that the NDC will want us to waste our energies to discuss these issues. In the first place, Dr. Sanko says he was at the IPAC when NDC asked 35 questions. No 35 questions were asked. Omanebo Ama said he has 35 questions to be answered by the EC. At the end of our discussion at IPAC, he said some of them have been mentioned have been answered by the EC, but he will follow up with other issues. If the NDC cares, they should publish their 35 questions that they want the EC to respond to. And we are saying that beyond this registration, you would need to have serial numbers of the BVR kits before you be satisfied that this whole exercise is free, or that the so-called 7 laptops you said they were missing, or BVDs you said they were missing, is what somebody is going to use to register people to get onto the register. Issue of register is the main. And we have been very particular at any point in time on the sanctity of the register. And so if a request for register is made, it's within the right of anybody. But I'm saying that from day one, NDC members in Parliament, Koko said that 7 BVDs were missing. It turned out that 5 laptops of BVR kits were missing, and the EC has reported this to the police. If NDC has any serious information to be given to the police to assist with the investigation, let that be done. I mean, I'm surprised that today they'll say because of 5 missing laptops, registration exercise cannot go on. Or until they get clear numbers of BVR kits, they will not accept the outcome, and that somebody somewhere sits and is using 5 missing laptops to register people because activation codes are being made generated at the district level. And for all the time under this regime, the EC published the gazetted polling stations or registration centers that the registration exercise will go on. That in all the 268 district offices. In fact, the EC told us at IPAC that there are additional 775 difficult-to-reach electoral areas. And in addition to that, 25 public institutions, that's universities, have been selected. All these ones were published. And Ray, after the registration exercise, the EC is by law required to do exhibition of the register in all polling stations. And this register, political parties are entitled to be given copies. So I'm surprised that the NDC will at this point be raising these issues which have no basis. I'm surprised. But that is their opinion. You can't take it away from them. So for us as the New Patriotic Party, our major concern is to monitor the registration exercise, that people who are of age, mature age 18 years, and Ghanaians and of sound mind as indicated by the Constitution, to be given the opportunity to register. Then in the future, they will be passed in the decision making as who become the president, who become members of parliament in the various constituencies. For us as New Patriotic Party, we are clear in our minds that any day election is conducted, our presidential candidate, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will garner majority of the vote.
Very well.
To constitute government come January 7, 2025. And we have majority of seats in parliament.
Now,
so that the NDC will not be heckling government business in the House as is happening now.
Now, let me get to some of the details of this. Without these serial numbers of the BVR kits, how will you trace, identify, and match every registration data emanating from a specific district or electoral area?
So, my brother, your office is situated in Ayawaso Central Constituency in Greater Accra. The registration point for this constituency is at EC's office in Accra at Ridge. There are a number of polling stations scattered across the constituency. But when you are registered at the district office, the EC will look at where you tell them you reside, and then they will place you to a polling station. After this exercise, the EC is supposed to do exhibition of the register, and this is done per polling station. So the almost 80 million people we have on the register will be spread across the 38,622 polling stations. When you visit a polling station, that is supposed to be where you'll be voting, and there are any issue with your details, you fill correction forms, and the EC will effect the necessary corrections to your details in the register. After EC is done with this exercise, EC is bound by law to give us as political parties copies of the certified register of all those who are registered, captured in the EC database. So, take it that you can even sit at your office and register all your colleagues unofficially. This data you would have done must go to the EC central database so that when they print the final register for Ayawaso Central Constituency, what would have done, and difficult as it may to get onto the central database, will not be seen, one. And even if it happens to get into the system, this is very unlikely. Parties must still have access and will be able to know. Is Dr. Tanko telling us today that almost 80 million people on the register, excluding what was happening in 7th and on the 8th, and even today, he is able to point to each of the names on the register to a polling station. Is that what the NDC is telling us?
Now,
I don't think they want to understand the process.
Okay, hold on. The next question, forgive me, is that, I mean, the NDC also believes that to help them track all authorized personnel, that's EC officials, who operate the BVR kits in an electoral area, this will forestall, in their understanding, any clandestine registration aimed at contaminating the voters' register. Your response to that?
Please come again.
They say that getting to know the serial numbers will also help them track all unauthorized persons or authorized persons who operate the BVR kits in an electoral area. This will forestall any clandestine registration, which is aimed at contaminating the voters' register.
Thank you. I think that at this point, they just want to waste our time. You know, Ray, if your small girl asks for biscuits and you give that, ask for ice cream, you give it, and ask for another biscuit, I think it will get to a point you say enough of that, isn't it? The NDC should publish their 35 questions for the whole of Ghana to see. They should assist the police to retrieve the 5 missing laptops. They know where these registration centers are as published by the EC. Unless they are telling us that in all these registration centers, they don't have agents. And if they do, their agents must be able to tell them or report back to Dr. Tanko that in Ayawaso East constituency, apart from the district office, there are other 4 registration centers, and these are the officers involved. I don't think this data is difficult to procure from the field. Beyond that, Ray,
but what's the difficulty?
are all over the field. monitoring this exercise.
All right.
I think they can help us with this data the EC is worrying us about, the NDC.
No problem.
Enough.
But what's the difficulty in providing that to them? I mean, do you agree with this security and other issues raised by the EC?
I'm saying that for the first time, we are hearing that BVR kits, serial numbers should be given out. This is the first time I'm hearing anything of this sort in all the times I've seen registration being done.
During the actual voting, the verification devices, right? The serial numbers, are they not given out?
Okay, so then you come to the DVD.
Yeah.
The DVDs on election day is supposed to help electronically verify voters at a polling station. And you'll be told that the DVD has a flash drive that contains the register for the constituency. But when it comes to the polling station, it's only giving the access to use only the polling station data. That is why if your name is on the database and you go through successfully the verification, it will say verify, and then you can proceed. There can also be situations where the machine will not be able to verify you, and so the law allows for manual verification. So if there are 38,000 registered voters in Ayawaso Central constituency, all the 38,000 registered voters will be captured on the flash drive, which will be inserted into the DVD. You will either be verified electronically or manually.
Okay.
It is just a day's program. Two, Ray, when it comes to this BVR case, it is doing online registration. The moment the registration is done successfully, the data is transferred straight to the central database of the Electoral Commission.
Well, now they are doing offline registration, if what we got was
they
right.
are doing offline,
Yeah.
the data is captured. The moment it gets connectivity, the data is transferred. I don't know the appreciation of the NDC about this simple arrangement of data being captured by the BVR kit, transported into the central database.
Let me get responses to the issues you have raised. Evans, forgive me, I need to rush through this. Dr. Tanko, he is saying what you're asking for are redundant things that should not be granted at all.
You know what? He's saying this is the first time we are asking for such things. We've been doing registration.
That's what he's saying.
Is he aware that this is the first time gadgets have been stolen from the Electoral Commission? From Afarjan to Charles Osei. Has it been recorded that even a pen, a simple pen, got missing in that commission? This is the first time. Gadgets.
So it's because of the extraordinary conditions.
That's something. We have found ourselves in a situation that we have never seen before. Commissioners presiding over items which are in the heart of our democracy. Registration is the heart of our democracy. If you don't get it right, forget of election. The thing he's talking about election. Look, we are not interested in the event. We are interested in the process. Mm-hmm. The process leading to the election is key, not the event. He is rushing to the event. He's telling me he's going to get a lot of seats and all that. Mm-hmm. You see, we are not interested in the event. They know what they're about, and that's why he's not interested in the process. We will stop it.
How do you mean by they know what you're about?
When he's not interested in the process and he's already talking of the event. Why is he talking?
He's not interested in them. He says that it is a redundant request.
I am saying it's not. He is. To them, they are redundant. Mm-hmm. He knows why they are redundant. But I'm saying that we are in an extraterritorial situation. I'm saying extraterritorial situation because we have never had this before. Okay. Our 30-year democracy has never recorded stolen items from the Electoral Commission. It has never recorded this. This is the first time. In fact, it's one of the records of the NPP. For the first time, they've been in power, and Electoral Commission is presiding over a TV of items. And those items they've taken, they are saying that you need activation code. They're not even talking about the serial numbers of them. They are not bothered. In all their communication about the stolen item, they didn't mention anything about serial numbers. They are saying that you can go away with it. You can even pick the gadget and move. If you don't have the activation code, it's as useless as a toilet paper. That's what they want everybody to believe. Now, we are saying that, okay, we are not even interested in your activation code. We are not looking for your activation code. We are looking for the serial numbers. Now, when I ask my good friend Evans about the issue of the BVDs, you see, he's not talking, he's not answering, he's telling you how the BVD works. We are not asking for what the BVD does. But we are saying that the BVD serial numbers are given to political parties during distribution, when they are putting them.
But he has not disputed that.
I'm saying that. So why are they running away from the BVRs?
But
What
makes it different? Two different events.
What makes it different? The BVR generates the names, and the names are put into the BVD to be verified. So what makes a difference? You offload the names from the BVR and put it into the BVD. This is an ICT thing. It's a simple technology. Mm-hmm. And we are saying that we want to know which machine is generating which names. And that one, they have problem with that. But you don't have problem with people running away with gadgets.
The issue he raised was also raised by the Electoral Commission. Police agent oversight, detailing report. Actually, the detailed report at the end of the day that you get, provisional register will be made available. Final register will be made available. If you participate in the district registration review committee, and you also participate in the adjudication process, are these not verification and foolproof processes that involves parties like yourself? Why would a serial number be a make or break issue?
Raymond, all these things you have mentioned, from 92 we've been doing it.
Yeah.
All these things you have mentioned, we have party agents, we go for DRC, they give us provisional register, they give us certified register, all these things. Why did we now add this in BVD? Why do we add biometrics? We should be asking ourselves questions.
As in the biometric verification.
Yes, why are we not adding it? If all these things are there.
Because we're told what enhance the process.
Good. So why would the EC be bringing an inept issues? Completely inept. This thing they just want to pack words onto the paper to confuse Ghanaians. These are the reasons why we are bringing in biometric. The things that they have mentioned. We've been doing it all along. From 92, we have party agents.
Okay.
92, we go for DRSs. Who told you we don't go for DRSs? Mm-hmm. Now, from 92, 96 and all, they've been attending it. I've attended several DRSs. I've attended deduplication. Even the last year one, I attended deduplication, where we check the names and all that to see that those who do double registration will remove their names. We do all these things. But you see, in 2012, we said we wanted to enhance our process by introducing what? Biometric. Mm-hmm. So the biometric also come with gadgets. Because when you are doing biometric processes, you need the gadgets that will support that. That is why we brought in BVRs and BVDs. And now these machines, they all come with serial numbers. Because when you are dealing with biometric, you see, we don't want to go into a realm of serious ICT to confuse our listeners. But the truth of the matter is that these BVRs, the serial numbers are germane to the heart of it. And we must know which machine is capturing me. And then so that if I want to track the register, it makes it easier to know that, look, you have deployed five BVRs to register people. Now this BVR, this number one BVR has registered 200 people. I know, this is data coming in. If somebody sits somewhere clandestinely and is also registered, don't forget they are doing offline now. And offline is not connected to the system. It's just like you having your laptop here and start entering names here. When you finish, what do? You put a pen and transfer that, and then go and put it into that. Okay, in transferring that, and you add another data, some numbers into there. If you add numbers to it, I should be able to tell that this is your laptop. At the time we end, you type only 200.
But there's an end of day report, right?
Good. That's why I'm saying we have an electoral commission that is not truthful to itself. That come and tell us publicly one thing and do different thing behind the scene.
An example being what?
I'll give you an example. The issue about the stolen BVDs. They rubbish it.
What is the discordance in communication there?
Yes. When the minority leader mentioned that some BVDs were stolen, they came out publicly, addressed press, and rubbish it, that nothing happened. We went to IPAC, and they accepted it. That yes, true to their words, some BVDs were missing. One, their first word was that they were missing. Then when we pushed them further, they said they were vandalized, and they mentioned Takwan Swahili specifically, that 5 of the BVDs were vandalized. When we asked for the debris, if things are vandalized, if your phone is vandalized, at least you should have components or pictures of it, the vandalization. They said it was missing. Then follow it up.
What they agree is that there are 5 missing laptops.
Not. The BVD, then you are not following them about the BVDs. Yeah. They also agree that some BVDs were missing 5. And 28 are unaccounted for after the district assembly election. There is a memo. They wrote a memo signed by the deputy commissioner to all the 16 regional directors, detailing a number of unaccounted BVDs from their regions. They have not come back to report to us whether they have retrieved all the 28. They have not told us. So if an EC can say this and do different thing and go behind the scene, and don't even forget, the chairperson herself addressed press on Monday and told Ghanaians very beautiful story about how the registration was going to be. Everything was set, logistics was sent, and they were sure that they were going to have the best of registration this time around. What happened on Tuesday? What happened on Tuesday?
There was a
it's still on our face.
Yes.
It's still on our face. It's still, and I'm told by now some of them should have started resigning if we are serious democracy. Because you can't say these things. And then the following day, the whole country was in chaos. Some districts, almost 20 districts, could not register a single soul first day. Kolete is just here. They couldn't register one soul the whole day. You should go and see their report.
As in on the first?
On the first day.
Interesting. Now, but the statement from the national chairman says, we wish to serve notice, and notice is hereby served, that the NDC registration agents across the country will resist the EC's clandestine attempts aimed at diminishing transparency in the voter registration exercise. And added that, let me emphasize that our agents must activate the party's super high-tech application systems to transmit all serial numbers of BVR kits in their districts and electoral areas to the national elections and IT directors of the party, with or without the approval of the EC. Is it not going contrary to what the EC stated?
We are doing our work. We are protecting our democracy.
What do you mean by a super high-tech application system?
Well, we have our systems. I work with my colleagues in the directorate, and we are collating the results every day. We have it. We are releasing every evening. We release the number of registered people in the country and which machine is registering. Well, we have look, this noise they are making, we have the serial numbers. All the BVR there, we have them. We have them. They think they are smart. We are smarter. We know what we are doing. The machine is sitting there. Are we using some spyglass that we can't see? The serial numbers are written on the machine. It's not hidden anywhere.
Oh, so you already have access
we
to it?
Have them.
So what's
I am saying that back and forth because, you see, these people, when you want to kill a snake, cut the head. We want them to know that. Give us officially serial numbers of your machines. You say you won't give us, we have it. We know the machine, this machine is recording this, and this is a serial number. We have it. That's why our national chairman emphasizes it. And we let them know that they shouldn't think that the democracy is for them.
Okay, now, I mean, it appears the NDC already has these numbers. Evans Nimako, is the matter resolved now?
I think it is very interesting. You see, by that time, my brother-in-law is well fed by my sister, so he said to her, you are telling us that you have these serial numbers of the BVR, and you are still worrying us that on them. Wait, that's why I gave the analogy of the...
No, but they said they want it officially from the Electoral Commission. And it appears they're not going to get the official collaboration or cooperation of the EC in getting these ones. That's what they wanted.
Wait. I beg of you. EC has started a 21-day registration exercise. Today is the 3. The new security party is monitoring events each day everywhere to put together our efforts that will help us access the provisional register and the final register that the EC is mandated by law to give it to us. So we prepare towards elections 2024, November 7th. So we win. Dr. Tanko tells us that they have these information already, why are they putting the years of the nail? The irony of this is the same list that started the internal election that saw Mr. beating Reverend Trump, and that was a credible internal organized by he for them.
I'm struggling to hear you. Forgive me. Maybe you have to reposition yourself so that I can hear your final comments briefly.
Hello, Ray.
Yes, I think it's better now. You were making the point about this is the same EC.
I'm saying that the NDC is creating the impression as if the EC cannot do any work worthy of acceptance. And I'm saying that this is the same electoral commission that supervised the NDC internal election that saw Mr. Edwin Ketia beating Reverend Okusam to become the national champion. That they used to do. This NDC is telling us today by Dr. Tanko that they have the serial numbers of all the BVR kits that the EC is using for this 21-day registration exercise. And they're still bothering us that they want that data from the EC. I think they can do better. But on the other hand, I'm not surprised because this is the same NDC that told us after 2020 elections that they've won and that their people should go out and jubilate. We saw them during the presidential petition that they didn't have any iota of evidence to support their claim. Where I think enough of them have given them some education that beyond this registration exercise, in these limited registration centers, they used to conduct exhibition exercise of the registered polling station. So all the represented police will see the registered exhibit where voters can go and make corrections to their names, their details, for EC to effect the details.
Well, I guess we've been through that. Now, I need to ask you a final question before you go. This question is related to the offline that the EC had proposed should actually be used across the country when it comes to registration centers. What does the MPP say to that? A step in the right direction?
Well, I really don't support the offline for one simple reason. You know, some people have managed to register already, and they want to go and register again. When it is offline, such a person will be captured. Details will be transported to the central database. But at the end of the day, because details of this person or this person is registered already, the person will subject himself to double or multiple registration. At that point, your details will be quarantined, and you not have opportunity of voting. And you open yourself up for prosecution. That notwithstanding, because we are doing limited registration exercise, and sometimes because of challenges with connectivity, it is reasonable to do some offline. But at the end of the day, data captured offline will be transported or transmitted immediately it gets connected. And so it doesn't get to stay on the that's my application. And so where there's one there's for get there. I think that we should set hasten to And let's
I am terribly losing you again, but I guess your point is well made on this particular issue about the offline registration. Let me bring it in there. That's if I get the Electoral Commission to come in briefly on this particular point. But let me come to you, Dr. Tanko. It appears the MPP and the EC are saying it's not something you should be wasting your time on. You say that you have a way of getting that data. I hope it's not an illegal method of getting that data.
It's not an illegal method. We are there. We are the polling stations. We have the registration centers. We have our men there. Our teams properly trained and deployed, and they are monitoring every bit of the registration.
Okay.
And I'm saying that they stand there, and the thing is printing.
Okay.
They print and they see the machine there. You are saying you won't give it. Does it mean why the thing is just lying down there?
All right.
They're sitting there. So it's there. So you see their problem. That's why I say I don't understand why they rush to go and write and want to confuse people.
They believe that by giving it to you, you're also exposing it to other dangers.
No, we are saying that. We are not asking for the activation code.
No, they are talking about still the serial number.
And I'm saying that people have stolen the machines with serial numbers. And at the time of stealing the machine, they would have taken a lot of serial numbers of the machines in the room. Yeah. Because CCTV camera didn't capture them. And there's this analogy, simple and short. If a thief comes to your house to steal your items and you have a dog and the dog refuses to bark the thief, what will be your observation?
It's a familiar one.
It's a familiar one. So if CCTV cameras, soldiers, police, and all that could not capture those guys, and it has to take our minority in parliament to ask them when they came for the special budget committee meeting about these items, missing items, they were taken aback for that question. That tells you that it's a familiar person who had it. So if the person managed to get away with these items, with the serial numbers, for codes, they are a simple matter. Since it's a familiar person, the same familiar people will give them the codes. I'm not surprised people don't see, especially our main opponent, they don't see anything wrong with this. For them, they are okay with it. We are not okay. We are not okay. Because this Electoral Commission has a penchant of violating even very CIs. This thing I'm holding here. They have a penchant of violating the CI, and we are going to hold their feet to it this time around.
Okay, that's an interesting development.
Yes.
Let's assess the ongoing registration. Day 3, we've had challenges, some of the identifiable areas where, and the EC has finally agreed that where it is required, you do offline registration. Do you agree with the NPP that it's not a particularly healthy option?
You see, that's why I'm saying this Electoral Commission, anytime they are talking, don't sleep with your 2 eyes. Always sleep with 1 eye.
I see.
Yes, this current Electoral Commission. When Mrs. Jean Mensah addressed the press and gave us a very beautiful picture of what was going to happen, is it that the Electoral Commission are the only people who use internet in this country? And do you know that what they are doing? They are not using internet. They are using VPN. They have a dedicated line with the MTN. Okay. So if you are using one line with MTN, who has given you this? Why haven't they made room for redundancy?
As he's spoken to the MTN for further help.
Why are they not using the other telecos? For redundancy, to fall back. If this one is not working, you fall back to the other. That is what we are doing. And I'm saying that these are problems generated by them. They create this problem to make sure that people don't get into the register. I am telling you with the fact, the knowledge I have about this ICT background. Why haven't they gone for other telecos to have a fallback? When the one they are using from MTN fails them, then they fall back to that.
Well, they say they are working on it to revamp it and to get it working, but in the interim, to avoid any difficulties.
It happened in 2023. And I thought they were going to learn their lessons from the 2023 registration.
2023?
Yes, last year. We did limited registration.
I'm told that I have the Director of Electoral Services at the EC on the phone now. Dr. Sebo Kwaku, you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
I just have a conversation with the NDC on this offline registration system. The argument of Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is that why don't you have a fallback plan? Why don't you have a redundancy plan to make sure that this is done without happening again? Because according to him, this happened in 2023.
Thank you very much. My regards to listeners. We have 2 ways of doing registration. That is online and offline. So whenever you are doing registration, you can combine the two simultaneously. There are even places where there are no networks at all, especially now that we're doing the difficult to access areas. So such areas, you have no choice but to go offline. So we always combine the two. We have been using the online and the digital offices. We are having challenges. Whilst we work on the challenges with further connectivity, we say let us go on the offline. So they are all part procedures for registration.
Oh, I see. But the challenge is that the potential for people to do double registration is inherent in an offline system.
Come again?
The potential for people to do double registration, is that a real risk?
It is there. That's why there's a penalty for it. That if you have registered, don't do it again. So if you have registered, you are an adult, you are 18 years, and you are not supposed to do that. If you do that, you are caught, you have been refunded.
In the last 3 days, have the numbers been on the uptake or still been very low?
If you look at the first day, even though we had a lot of challenges, we registered around 17,000. As compared to 2023, we registered 12,000.
Okay.
So it means that this year's one is a bit higher than the 2023 one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's on the first day. But how about the rest of the days?
So I think yesterday we also registered around 16,000.
16,000?
So it's not so bad as
okay.
we were thinking. We are making a headway.
Even with areas where...
And this one is 21 days.
Even with areas where they appear not to have been registration, there's still the numbers you are talking about.
So far, the figure I've seen, there's where there was no registration at all.
Okay, really? Dr. Computer, I mentioned that there was an area where there was no registration at all.
On the Tuesday.
On Tuesday?
Yes. The first day.
On the first day.
They didn't register once.
Is it talk of zero registration?
Sorry, he said what?
Is it zero registration?
Yes, he's saying that nobody was registered on the first day.
First day. We have a lot of constituency districts.
I will have to check. I've not seen that. I've not seen that.
When do we know that this offline difficulty will be resolved? Do we have a timeline on it?
Online difficulty or offline difficulty?
No, online difficulty, really.
That one has to do with the connectivity. We are working on that. So I believe from tomorrow going, we should be able to address that.
As in, there's no specific day where we know this is certainly going to be resolved.
It's a challenge that is being addressed. So if I tell you that the issue is that it could be done today, tomorrow can drop. So we want to find a way of solving it completely. So if you look at the first day, we managed to go around 12 o'clock, but the next day we have challenges again. So we are doing everything that we can, but we are hoping that either tomorrow, probably tomorrow, we should be able to address that.
Now, we are moving on, but my last question to you is about what the NDC has been talking about today. I know you say that you've not gone through the entire statement, but you have been on the ground. The NDC says they already have access to those biometric, the data that they are asking for, the serial numbers. And so asking you for it was only being courteous and asking for official information. And that on the ground, they have access to that information.
I'm not aware of that, so I wouldn't know.
You are not aware that they are also able to see the serial numbers on these machines?
Mm-hmm. There are about 5 different serial numbers, so I don't know the one they are referring to.
Well, that's an interesting development. Dr. Sebo Kwaku, I am grateful to you for your time this evening. I'll end off with the final remarks from you, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer.
Very well. Eyes are on the price. We are working towards it. What we do know is that our opponents don't want us to beat them with a large margin.
Oh, really?
Oh, seriously. I mean, that is why they are helping the Electoral Commission to suppress the registration. Because they know the youth registering now, virtually they are going to vote for NDC because of this 24-hour economy thing. Everybody is looking at trying to prepare their future.
But how does the lack of release of a serial number suppress registration?
Of course, what they are trying to do is that They don't want the people. Look at what they are doing. This connectivity thing.
As in the offline system.
Offline, online thing, trying to confuse people and all that. That is what they are doing.
Okay.
And the numbers, as he's talking about, they don't want this. Look, they are bringing.
But I said the numbers are higher in the last few days than it was in the last year's what they call registration.
Well, we are all here. That's why we said we are waiting. We are high on the price. We are monitoring them with eagle eyes and know that. We know that.
Can the NDC confirm these numbers?
Oh yeah, we have our numbers. We are whatever
and
they
he's
come out.
right that the numbers in the last few days have been higher than the previous one.
Yes, if you look at the yesterday.
Okay.
If you look at the yesterday figure, because any figure that we get, we make sure that we want to find out whether what our agents are giving is the same what these people are having, and it correlates. It's getting on well.
Very well.
So we are certain with it because by 6-7 we get figures from the grounds, and we are satisfied with it. Our agents are doing fantastic job. Our officers in the constituencies are doing fantastic job, and we are up to the task. And I can assure you, these people, we are going to beat them first round.
Okay.
And it won't be less than 54%.
I'm grateful to you because my time is up. I am grateful to you for joining me in the studios here today, Dr. Tanko Rashid, computer. I like the computer part of your name.
It is well.
I was also joined by Dr. Simbo Kwaku and Evasid Maku, the Director of Elections of the MPP. Many thanks to you for joining today's edition of UPFront.